let's have a look at Live 11 then. Let's see what's going on and maybe play around with it and see what we come up with. So I've been just experimenting in the last 20 minutes maybe with this new voice box pack that's going to come with Live 11. So they've got like, all the new devices, the features, but they're also going to have new like content in there. And one of them is called Voice Box. And we can actually right click and show the default lesson. And it just tells you it's like a vocal toolkit. It has everything from audio effects, it looks like, to vocal instruments. There's even MIDI effect racks, which that sounds interesting. And, in this lesson, they kind of take you through some of the stuff. I haven't even really looked at it yet. So I'm not going to really bother looking through it. I'm just going to play around. I loaded this one instrument in here out of this folder here. Slow motion. I don't know if that's Ave and Veronica, but I'm not sure if this is how it's supposed to sound, because the first thing I did was hit the random button. Now on our instrument racks, we have this button called random that will just randomize all of the different parameters, all the different macros, and I'm randomizing them. But one thing I don't like about the random is that it's randomizing my volume, and I don't really want that. So I can just right click on that and exclude it from randomization, which is fun. I'll just put that at like, I guess 0 dB, and I'll hit random, and now nothing happens to it. And just figured I'd see what I'd get. I'm playing this on push, and okay, that looks fine. So I don't know, let me click right here. We get snapshots of our racks. So when you click on these, you get to store different settings of the macro knobs, which is pretty cool. And these are the ones that came built in with this instrument. But I really think it's a pretty awesome sound. I'm kind of curious how many samples are going on in here, because quite a lot of samples in these instruments, because they really do sound nice and full and like they have a lot of variety. And then we have the slow motion one, Desert Rise. So maybe I'll play around with this one a little bit. Let's see what this focus control does. So, okay, cool. Maybe this is the sound I want to use. That's quite a long release, so maybe I'll dial that back a little bit. There's probably some sort of space. Yep, that's probably reverb or something. And these days when I'm getting started on something, I'm almost always in session view. I'll just kind of play around on the keyboard and sort of see what I get, and use the capture feature, which is this button here. This is a Live 10 feature where Live just remembers like all the MIDI stuff you've been playing. So I can select a key. I'm on my push here. Maybe I'll do like I'm gonna do E flat minor. Part of the reason I'm doing E flat is I've been tuning my guitar flat, so I'll just keep this consistent in case guitars one day want to be part of this. And I'll just kind of play around. And if that's something I liked, I can just click this capture button right here. And Live will capture what I did. And what I can kind of see is it interpreted this in a certain way, which wasn't exactly what I intended. So I might just take all these MIDI notes here. I'll do select all, and I'll just kind of drag them over where I kind of felt like I was playing 4 bars, even though it wasn't very solid or anything. But I'll try to get it roughly around a 4-bar loop. And that might mean adjusting a few more things. Get those over on the third bar, and maybe this guy and this guy over a little bit, and just kind of see how it winds up. So I'm just doing a little MIDI editing and trying to get things a little more where I may have wanted them. Seems like this note is not playing. And I might just filter that down a little. Give it a little more space. And all right, I'm starting to like enjoy what that sounds like. From here, maybe I'll go to this drum track I have open. It's kind of like a rock drum kit, but we'll work with it for now. I can do the same thing with the capture feature on my drums. This is my little section here. So maybe I will quantize this ride cymbal a little bit. Get those a little closer to where they're supposed to be. Say this one's a little quiet. Some snares. And I'm just like gonna like maybe change my kicks out a little bit. So, a feature I've been very excited about in live is all of the new probability type stuff. So I've got this like really simple drum part, right? Turn off this follow here. But it's playing the same thing every single time. So I'm gonna add in some extra kick drum notes, and I'm gonna bring in this probability feature. Pull that up a little bit so you can see it more. And right now, all of my drums have a probability of 100%. If I lower this to say 50%, you'll notice it gets this little tiny like thing on the corner. I don't even know what to call that. Some kind of like little indication on the corner. That's telling us that this kick has a different probability than 100. Normally, MIDI notes have 100, but as soon as you go below 100, it's letting you know that this isn't always going to play. It's going to play whatever percent I left that at, about 50 or so percent. So I might just like put in one there. Maybe I'll put like a kind of weird syncopated one here that I'll bring down. Maybe another one here. We'll bring this probability fairly low. I'll put one here, pretty low, and one here, pretty low. And let's just hear what that sounds like now. I'm not a fan of that one. I'm going to move it over. I can kind of do the same thing with snare drums. Maybe I'll make like some ghost notes here. I'll bring the velocity down on these a bit. These are now what the velocity things look like. And maybe I'll just, since I kind of like that range of probability, I'll just put these in a couple other places. So that's nice and all, but I'm noticing now like my kicks are very they're just so solid every single time. So I can take this we can use our create a velocity probability, a little range of velocity. So this slider here, right now I don't have anything selected, so it's going to affect every single note in my track, but you'll notice we get this like shaded area. Now that's the range of possible velocities that this note will now play on. And I think I might actually do it a little bit on every single note. And then maybe I'll go in on like some of these like kicks. And I'm just holding shift when I select these, some of those extra kicks. And maybe I'll give them like a little bit more of a range so they can be even quieter. Let's hear what that sounds like. And I think these don't need to be that loud and ever, so I'm going to bring it down a bit. Bring the range up. Let's see what that sounds like. Maybe my ride cymbal, I might throw in an extra ride there, but I will bring its velocity down a little and give it a little less probability. So what I'm kind of doing with my drums right now, this like always cracks me up. I can remember playing in bands and having drummers where I would just want them to play the same beat constantly for like 8 bars. Just don't change anything, please. Just keep the straight beat, don't get fancy. But inevitably, like drummers get bored and they have to do a ghost note here or a little like trill or something on the hi-hats or whatever it is. I'm now like programming in that like unpredictability, that sort of the stuff I don't want my drummers to do normally, but it's what makes a drummer human. They don't always do the same exact thing every single time. They mix it up a little bit. So with some of these probability features, with the velocity and with the actual note playing, you can get drum parts that really change quite a lot. Now, another thing I might do here is, and this is again a live, an old feature, but I might access the groove pool. Grooves are now showing up in our browser. So we can take a groove and just click here and we can start applying grooves. It's pretty nice that they just show up. I can click on that to this hot swap to just pick one. And to be honest with you, I don't really care about what groove I have. This is going to give my drums a swing. So if you listen, give a little bit of a swing. I don't care about that. I'm turning the timing down. The timing is how the groove affects the actual placement of the notes. And I'm going to just use the random feature. And by just using a groove for random, I'm changing the timing of these notes. I might put it up at 100%. It'll sound kind of sloppy. Maybe at 8 notes. And so it sounds like my drummer forgot how to play or dropped a stick and is trying to keep going. But if I bring this down at a more manageable place, now I get like some kind of movement in the drumming where they're not always playing exactly the same as far as timing goes. This ride to me feels a little bit loud, so I can turn maybe some of these mics down. So now I've got a beat and melodic part. Um, I've used Capture to start. We were talking a little bit about getting tracks started. I love using Capture. It gave me my performance. It remembered the notes I played, and even though it wasn't the exact tempo I had, I wound up fixing that a little bit. It still captured the idea that I wanted, and that allows me to sort of play like an instrument, a melodic instrument, just with feel and without like turning on the metronome and without getting all uptight about like what BPM I'm at and trying to figure that out. You can just kind of play and capture it, and Capture will figure out the tempo for you. It'll get the notes, and depending on how evident your rhythm was, it will add in some of these. It'll put your notes in time and guess the tempo. So that would be how we get going. We got this here. How we doing? Is everyone with me so far? We're feeling good? We're in the Zoom chat here.
Yeah, so far so good. That was amazing. Capture is exactly the missing link for getting started.
Oh yeah, cool. I mean, it could be a drum beat, it could be a melodic part. You just play, and then Live remembers the MIDI stuff you did. And for me, like pretty much, it's like gone are the days of like setting my tempo first and then trying to play to the metronome, which always feels a little uncomfortable for me. Stiff. And like when I play my guitar, I don't set a tempo and put on the metronome. I just play and feel it. And Capture allows you to just do that with MIDI and then just have things kind of work. I was just able to program a drum beat that was just in time with it now. Want to welcome Randall. He's in here now. I hope you weren't waiting too long. I just saw that you were in the waiting room here, but welcome aboard. Let's see. So, let me ask you this. I know some of you have had some experience, whether it's with Live 11 or watching some videos. There's been some really great breakdowns of some of the stuff, not only from Ableton, but from a lot of people online. Is there anything you guys are particularly interested in that you want me to cover and talk about?
What are the new synthesis toys?
The new synthesis toys. Okay. So there are no new instruments per se. We have the same instruments we have, but probably like the big thing that would go with like instrument wise would be like MPE, which is MIDI polyphonic expression. And what that means is you can have different expression or movements or modulations on each individual note of a MIDI part. I might be able to demonstrate that for you guys with Wavetable, because Wavetable has a really nice way of laying this out. So you'll notice on Wavetable, we got our mod sources, our matrix, our MIDI, and now we've got MPE. And I unfortunately don't have an MPE controller right now, but Push allows you to have polyphonic aftertouch now. So aftertouch is when you hold down a key and you press on the pads or press on the keys, and you can use that like pressure data to modulate other things. In the past, well, I'll make it so it was the way. There's a setting in setup on Push. So if you hold down your setup button, you'll see pressure and it'll say mono by default. And then you can turn that and change it to poly. I'm going to... So we got these... this is Wavetable. Did I get it? Why not? These are some sounds I made with some other people, so maybe I'll use some of these. I don't know. Let's see what it sounds like. That's so close to the other one. Let's try Dream Forever Pet. This is a fun sound. So with pressure, I can do things like modulate, and this would be under MIDI too, pressure, like I can modulate the filters. So if I crank this up, depending on how hard I press on the keys, I'm moving the pressure. But right now, that filter movement that I've set up with pressure is affecting all of the notes at the same time. If I go in here and change my pressure to poly, and then we can close that out, we'll go into E, and we'll set up pressure over here. I can have this note and this high note, and I can just affect the filtering of, maybe I'll do this the other way, might make more sense. I can affect the filtering of just the high note if we listen. So as I press down on the high note, I'm lowering its filter, but my low note is still going. And if I let it up, now my high note comes back. And now I'm pressing down on the low note. And you can hear the filter moving just for the lower note, but that high note is still crispy and loaded with high frequencies. And I'm making this like rhythmic movement by just how hard I'm pressing down on my low note. So that is probably the most exciting part of the updates in live. Let's see, I'll play this here. I'll make a new clip here. We'll make this clip 4 bars. And we can turn on scale mode in our clips. And now, since I had my push set up to E flat minor, it's gonna know that my clip should be in E flat minor. So it shows me all the notes in E flat minor here. So I can now, with just looking at these pink lines here, know which notes to put in my clip. And then I can even do the scale button, which eliminates all of the bad notes or the notes that aren't in the key, which is really handy. So now I can have this playing here. Maybe I'll draw in like, it's just, I'm not sure what I'm gonna get here, but. Try something like, it's nice, I can just use the up arrows and switch between my notes. I think I want an A sharp instead of a B. So you got just like a little top melody going on there. Might even go into my wavetable and just make the attack. Let's see, what do we got going on? Where is envelope 2 is affecting that and that. Attack is pretty good. I guess my filter frequency is moving a lot with the LFO. That's fine. I'm not going to change anything actually. So maybe what I do now is add another note up here, and maybe another one, and I go up to there. And I can do the same thing that I did before with our probability if I want. I can maybe make these top notes not as probable. Maybe I'll just bring them down a little bit. I've highlighted them all, so I'm just going to lower them down to like, that says 64%. We can always expand that a little bit by moving that. Now, if we want to talk about our MPE, I'm going to make these last two notes just a little bit longer so they ring out. We can go into this new tab here that's called Note Expression. And this now gives us the option to play around with some of our other parameters here. So let's see, let me, I want to get this open here. We can see our velocity, all that stuff. Whoops, let me just undo all that. Turn off my scale even for a second. So when I turn off the scale, I get access to this line here. And this line is like a pitch bend per note. So maybe I'll have this note glide up to this next note here. Let's see what get that going. We can do the same thing here. Maybe this one will go down to here, we'll say. Tell you what, I'm not actually hearing that happen. Drive my pitch bend. Pitch bend, I think, needs to be 48 like that. There is pitch bend settings. Oh, goodness. Look at that. That is live crashing on us. So I was trying to set my pitch bend settings because those individual notes are, that stinks. Those individual lines I was drawing affects the pitch bend, but you have to have your pitch bend working properly and set up properly, and that's something you can do from there. I'm going to click yes to recover my work. Hopefully it will remember what I was doing because I did not save. Okay.
That was a wonderful surprise.
It's always
used it on my last track.
What's that?
The K7D tape delay. That was a great gift. I received it before you even sent out the announcement. I was like, who gifted me a tape delay? And I made a track with it that day. So thank you.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, thanks for the plug-in.
I thought you guys were saying the crash was something you used in your last track, like live crashing. Yeah, I'm glad you guys like it, and I do realize that I think everyone got the actual update or the letters from Imaginando before they got the club updates. That was my fault. And that caused some confusion with some people. I answered a lot of emails of people thinking that they got hacked or something, but you were not hacked. It was just a bad timing, I guess, with the emails. But I'm glad you guys liked it. I think it's a really awesome plugin.
I just thought there was some like producer fairy looking out for me because I love tape delay. I make a lot of dub inspired stuff, and so I plugged it right in and made a track with it that day. It's a great plugin.
It is a great, yeah.
Perks of the club.
Yeah, good. I'm glad you liked it. Yeah, I gotta really thank Imaginando, Nuno at Imaginando especially for helping me put that together and being so kind to give it one of their plugins. They make great stuff. So if you like that, I bet you would like other things they do too. Maybe we'll throw that in here at some point. So let's see if it really remembered everything. I think what I'll actually do too, I may Oh, man. Oh, boy. So I wonder if doing that when everything's playing is a bad idea. Sorry about that, everyone. This is the danger of the beta, I guess, which I really should say has been incredibly stable. I had it crash, I think, one other time. And I think that was my fault because I was kind of, you know.
If you're interested in a jump to a slightly different topic, in the Live 11 features, I am interested in learning more about spectral time and resonator. Have you played with those yet?
Yes, that was one I wanted to get to. I'm actually in the middle of putting a video together for Resonator too, so maybe I'll give you guys like the preview on that. If I mean, I'm so tempted. I really want to show you the pitch bend thing, but I think the settings. I'm gonna try one more time, if you don't mind, on this. Where did that pitch bend setting go? Does it need to be playing? I don't think we want that again. I don't even see that choice on the menu anymore. All right, I'll have to look into that. But it is really cool. It's a cool feature. You'll have to trust me. Yeah, let me take out this this resonator one, which I think is one of the cooler things. So the resonator effect here is I can talk into it. That might be a cool way to show you what it sounds like. By just talking, it changes my voice around. And I get, whoa. There's a few different modes and decay, and we can dampen it, we can modulate it, we can modulate the pitch. Whoa. We've got some unison modes that are really pretty crazy. And we can change like how much resolution there is, how many harmonics we get on top of it. The higher we go, the more high frequency we get. We might even demonstrate that with an EQ8, just so you can see what I'm saying. And as I bring it down, you'll see that stuff goes down pretty low. And then we just add in the harmonics as we go up. You can actually change the pitch by frequency, and you can even do it by note. So we could set this to like a D sharp, and then that should be in tune with our music that I'm playing right now. You can hear that I'm saying things that come in that note that's in tune with our song. Very cool. And the different sounds give you different sorts of granulation right now. We might want to turn this up a little. And it turns things into like another instrument, really, which is, I think, pretty amazing. The thing that really excites me about this, though, is when you have it listen to MIDI. So maybe I'll put this on chorus here. We can take MIDI from, I'll set up a new MIDI track here. And this will be my push. And MIDI from here. And this is where push gets a little tricky. How would this work if I do this? Hello, hello, hello. Hello, hello. Nope, not gonna let me work. All right, I do have to switch. If I had a MIDI keyboard handy, I could keep this device up, but I have to have this track highlighted in order to play it with push. But what I wanted to show you is that you can play almost like a vocoder, I guess, where I can have this open here, and as I play notes, as I talk, we get the melodies that I play coming back through the effect. So my voice, just to remind you what's going on, my voice is going through this channel and into the spectral resonator, and I'm just playing different chords on my push to change the pitch of my voice in there. And we might be able to get something kind of cool. So I will hit record here and record here, and well, we know where to go. Anytime when I was here, say no, whoa, whatever. Let's see real quick. It would have been good to have something to say. And now we are basically vocoding, kind of. We can change the pitch, maybe raise it an octavier. Try some of these different. Send a little. There's a lot of high frequencies. I might damp that down a little. Maybe even bring the harmonics down a little. Helpful to like let's EQ this a little bit going in. So this is a device I'm particularly enjoying a lot, the spectral resonator. It's just, especially once you start running MIDI and controlling things, they could just as easily be the drum track we do this to, which would be totally crazy. We could put this on those drums, and I'll have it listen to the MIDI from that track, and let's just see what we get. Maybe I'll have it listen to the MIDI actually from my chords. That would be kind of cool. That is my slow motion. Let's see what that does. So I'm going to mute everything but the drums. Like another instrument's playing. So I've just kind of given my drums like this like kind of rhythmic melody using the chords from this part. Maybe what I might even do is put this in a group, make another chain. One of the chains can just be dry. And I can crank this on this dry wet all the way up. And maybe I'll put like a delay on here. Maybe I will put our friend K7D on there. Put this at a synced rate. An LFO we can put on these filters so they kind of get a little movement. I really like the character knobs on this. A little wow, they spread it out nice and wide. And that like lead part, that's the drums. Like I turn that off, we have no spectral resonator anymore, no delay. And that whole lead part is like gone. So we kind of just made like another melody, another part. Turn it on poly. Maybe we won't have that many notes, maybe like 2 notes. That we could play around with the filter away, bring back in. That sounds really nice to my ears. I might even like record the automation. Soon will let me get up there. Soon will let me click on it. Do it on push. So then we can hit the so funny. Guess we can do it over here. Here's our I just recorded a little automation into our plug in there. And I can bring in my other parts too. Starting to sound kind of nice there. Yeah, the spectral resonator is so fun. It's a way to like almost create like new melodies and new instruments without actually creating new instruments. It's a really, really cool device. Close that up. Then I've been having a lot of fun with Hybrid Verb. I think Hybrid Verb is a really cool device. I actually did a free pack today. I released a free Ableton Live pack with Hybrid Verb. Maybe I can actually pull it up. Where do I have it? There, it should be in here. And this free send pack, Lo-Fi. I'm gonna have to drag this session in here. Before I do that, I'm just gonna save, just because sometimes when you do big commands like dragging a whole live set into another set, which is a really helpful thing, by the way. You can drag, like this is a live set. I can just drag it right in here. I can even drag the individual track and just put it right here. And there it is. That's from another session. And this is the a bathroom reverb I made. So hybrid reverb is a convolution reverb and an algorithmic reverb. I'm going to put it on the snare drum. And what that means is you can have a combination of convolution and algorithmic or both. And convolution is a really cool reverb. There was a Max for Live, there still is a Max for Live device called Convolution Reverb. And what it does is it takes samples of real world places and converts it basically to a reverb. So you can make these samples yourself. They call them impulse responses. Usually it's some kind of really quick attack and short decay sound, like a hand clap works really well, or even like a snare drum would work well. And you just record a clap, say, in a room. And then you can put that sample right into hybrid verb and have a reverb. I have this, is there a good way to show where this is? We can just look over here. So I recorded this sample of a toilet seat closing in a bathroom because I thought the reverb was so cool. I'll let you hear it. It just sounds, it sounds enormous. And that's enough for you. So I put it in here, and there's just one knob here on this macro because nowadays you don't have to have just your normal 8 macros. You can have anywhere from 1 to 16 with these plus minus buttons. But it's kind of cool how you can just have this like little tiny device here, and it's just the whole reverb. And now let's listen to what happens to our snare drum. That on the right snare. Maybe I should turn off all this turn it off the snare. We'll solo it too. We'll just really hear it. There's my snare. There it is in the bathroom, basically. We could raise the decay if we want. Increase the size if we want. Changes the pitch a little bit. Give it a little pre-delay. Give it some feedback. So now that's essentially what this snare drum might sound like inside that bathroom. Which gives this track some more sense of space. Should probably put another one of these on the other snare drum, which is right here. So I'm just option dragging that, just so there's some consistency. Bring our spectral resonator back. Maybe we can use hybrid reverb as a send. I'll get rid of my normal reverb. We'll bring in hybrid reverb here. All the way up. And send the drums here. So we can choose all kinds of different sounds made for drums. You can do. And right now we have a combination of this convolution going into the algorithmic reverb. There's some different kinds of reverbs, and they're all pretty interesting. I'm a real big fan of this vintage control, though. So, and again, I think our spectral resonator is like color in our sound so much that it's difficult to hear, but we have this vintage control going. Let's just hear it in full glory. Just kind of makes it sound old or older. It's dirty, it's kind of hissy. And then this is almost like very digital breaking up when it's on extreme. This is off. I like a little old reverb in there. We can have the bass come in mono, which is definitely handy. There's an EQ too, which is nice, which determines like which sounds will get through to the reverb. So I can kind of leave my kick drum out of there, or I can let it in. We can determine whether it's happening before or after. We can give a little feedback. So it's kind of nice. Really, just such a nice reverb. I'm a big fan of this one. Give it more distance, whatever. There's a couple other devices that were updated kind of nicely, and one I'm interested in quite a lot is Chorus Ensemble. I'm going to put this on the master track because it has our normal chorus sound. It's got this ensemble feature, but it also has a vibrato, which it's basically moving the pitch around of our track. But I could see this being like really popular with people trying to do like lo-fi hip-hop type stuff. Get some nice like pitch movement going on. I'm just running my whole entire track through this. Giving me like a very loose, pitchy type thing. We've got our modulators in here. These are Max for Live modulators. I might take the LFO device, for instance, and put this on this creates an LFO that we can map to anything in live. I might map it to like the rate. Just slow it down a little bit. But I'll also change the depth here, so it's just more subtle. And we could even map more than one parameter, so maybe even the amount. That's a little chaotic. What if we maybe do something like... Now we get like a kind of like dreamy... always in tune. My tape player is a little slow, or my record player is a little off. And I think we can get even more lo-fi if we use the new Redux. Redux finally has a dry wet, which is so nice. And we can kind of control some of this bit crushing. So maybe we'll bring it down. It also doesn't get so loud. Like it used to get so loud when you got below like 4 or 5 bits. But maybe we'll make this like a 12-bit recording. A little jitter on this rate. Cause it to move some. This is full 100%. We have a filter on here too, so we can, after the Redux, we can filter things down or open up. Or you can do it both before, so we can filter. Oh, you can't do both, huh? Filter free. There we go. Maybe I'll just filter a little bit off. A little goes a long way. 0.5 or so. This is almost like a kind of instant lo-fi thing I got going right here. Turn all this off and put in a group here. You can hear how it's like really deranged my music. It sounds much cleaner here. Yeah, that's getting fun. How's everyone doing in the chat and everything? With no chat, hanging in there.
Yeah, sounds good.
Yeah, this is great. Good listening. It's like being at a live show.
Oh, cool. I find myself just getting sucked away in these sounds like crazy. Like that spectral resonator is just beautiful, and these subtle effects like kind of making it sound a little loose and dreamy. To me also just, I don't know, it just pulls me into the music really well. And there's just a lot of cool things going on here. Like I think part of what makes this, if you really look, like it's just a 4-bar loop, and even the drums I think are only 2 bars. Yeah, the drums are only 2 bars, and the rest is 4 bars. But because of some of that probability stuff, it doesn't really feel so loopy anymore because the drums are playing something different every single time. I think, yeah, did I do anything to these? Maybe not this one here, but this still want to be able to show you this a little bit, but I'm a little scared. Having like those note probabilities that we put on here, I think like it's just kind of cool. Well, we took them off, didn't we?
Have you saved?
Yeah, good point. I just don't know why we're having trouble with this. Pitch bend settings. Here we go. Oh man. That's the button I can't press. We'll have to send this bug report in. Well, the thing that would be cool about that is that my chord, like I'm playing chords on that instrument, and the like bass notes would stay solid in their pitch, stay constant, but those high notes would like slide up into the next note, and it can be really smooth. And again, that's like another thing I think that makes you know, the sounds not so boring. Like MIDI and like all of that is like it's getting really expressive. There's a lot of really cool stuff you can do, and I find like, you know, when things move out of tune, when they glide up like or shift in time a little, that really creates a lot of like feel and life in your music. That's the stuff I've always like kind of longed for to get back into my music when I'm doing it on the computer. I want the drummer to be a little more random, even though in the real world I always want him to be a little more consistent. But you can have that for like all kinds of things, like even in like these short loops. Maybe like some of these notes are not always played, or we add a couple notes on top, turn on the scale function here, and we can add in a few notes, say, and fold it up. We want scale, fold up scale here. And oh, I don't know. Right. Now this, okay, so look, this scale is not in the right key. We want the minor. I guess that's probably because I set the scale afterwards, after the clip was made. These clips should be, when I create a new clip, it remembers the scale, but you can have different scales on different clips, which is kind of cool too. Like I can have this clip switch key, do a key change there. That actually reminds me too, when I have like my different scenes, if you expand the master here, you can change the BPM and the key signature. The key signature, that's not what it's called. I just signature, time signature. You can change that to like 4/4, 6/8, 3/4, whatever you want each time you change a scene and change the tempo, which is cool. Used to have to write it in like in the name of the scene, but you don't have to do that anymore, and it can go away, which is nice too. And all the scenes are always numbered, whether you move them or what, they stay. It's the same numbers in order, which I think makes a lot more sense. What are you guys thinking here? Any thoughts?
Hey, I've got a thing I'd like you to try out if you could. The randomizer feature is super cool. I was wondering if maybe if you had like a drum bus or a drum channel playing something with drum MIDI, and then having like 3 hits that are like ambient hits that you randomize just like the ambient sounds. Like if you wanted to put like Birds of Prey on top of it or something, and just have the Birds of Prey samples random, how would you go about doing that?
I don't totally understand the question.
Well, so when sorry,
that's okay.
When
it's hard to
yeah,
it might be me too.
Well, it's trying to explain something conceptual. Yeah. So when you did the randomizer with the drum kit, you know how it randomized the placement of some of the hits, obviously, yeah. Right? Is there any way to add some more hits to your kit that might not be the parts of the kit, but might be like ambient shaker noises or something like that you add in, and then you only apply randomization to like the shaker and the triangle, but not to the snare and the kick and the hi-hats or something like that?
What kind of randomization? Like, because we could open this drum kit, right? And we can just add more samples on the pad or more instruments on these
right.
Empties.
So if you wanted to add like a shaker or something, or if you have a shaker in there, could you just like make a couple hits kind of random through there? Like I don't have an end goal, but I kind of have a couple ideas of what I would experiment with.
Yeah, so we could go on our drums, our drum hits, shaker, shaker. Something like that, okay. Maybe like more straight. Okay, so we'll put you right there. And then we can go into our clip. I tell you what, let's duplicate that, because we'll talk about another feature while we're at it. So what I could do, really, I could draw it in like this, right? Oops. Okay. So there's a feature now also. It used to be when you used the pencil, you would only draw in a straight line. But now you can draw like that. And that's a preference thing. That would be under MIDI. No, I forget where they put this one now. Oh, here it is, MIDI note drawing. Draw mode with pitch lock, which means if I turn that on, I can only draw that note. And if I go up and down, it actually changes the velocity of all those notes. But if I turn that off, then I can do all the notes I want. And you can invert that function by just holding the Option key. So if I hold Option now, I can now just draw a straight line on all these sounds. So probably, like for what you're saying, maybe I might take all of these shakers and just put their probability like way low. Like if I put all of these probabilities at like, depends how often you want to hear them. Let's say like 4%. It'll just get kind of like. very, very sporadically and randomly. Put it up a little bit higher. Maybe I'll tweak this a little bit. And maybe even like the velocity ranges, I might. So is that what you're saying, basically?
Exactly. Yeah, you
Okay,
nailed
cool.
it. That's awesome. Because I can see a lot of potential with cool stuff I could do with that.
Yeah, you just have these shakers like kind of periodically happen, you know? I have it very, very, they're everywhere, but since the percentage is so low, it's like maybe they'll happen, maybe they won't. I mean, you could do that with like melodic notes even. If I were to, these are all kind of, just get like a different instrument, just to demonstrate real quick. I can put an operator here. I'll turn my scale on. We can only see the notes here. I could draw in like, what would my chord be? Nope. Trying to think of what my notes are in this E flat minor. But sure, that'll be enough to like get the point across here. Turn off draw mode and just duplicate these around, and maybe I'll do these actually like higher. Okay, not the most lovely. That's partially because of that guy there. So we got this madness, right? But if we select them all, bring all their probabilities down to like almost nothing. Maybe even the velocity ranges down a bit. It's kind of fun. We can again go like super random with some of this. Like we can take this LFO device, and I had it set up as a sine wave before. What if I make it random? And we'll make the rate like really fast. Or we'll do the rate, how about in a synced time? And I'll map this to maybe even I'll map another one. I'm just making like random nonsense here, but it could very well be a way to make music. I mean, that's just silly craziness I'm doing here, but it just kind of goes to show that you could just draw in a ton of notes and have them just sort of randomly go about. I don't know if that'll sound any good with what I have. I think I kind of messed up some of those notes there. kind of get the idea. I'd probably delete that track.
May I ask a quick question?
Yeah.
So I think the answer is apparent, but on some of the hits on the randomizer there, is it only playing individual elements of the chord, or is it playing the whole chord each time? Okay, because I wasn't sure if it did that.
Yeah, every single note is random, so it might play just one note at the chord. It might play 3 at the same time.
Excellent. That's awesome. Well,
Yeah.
cool. You hit everything that was kind of going in the direction I was thinking.
Cool.
So
cool.
thank you.
Yeah, like for this, like I might like, you know, maybe we have like a chord. I guess I need to draw that out. I took away all our sustain. Just to play this one thing here. We got our one note here. Turn on our scale here. We can have like our. Oh, come back here. So maybe like we have a chord like this that plays, but then we could just like throw in some like other notes. That would fit in that chord. I just drop these way down. So you can kind of like tell the clips like, hey, this is all of the possible things that I would allow my player to do, but I don't want them to do them all, just like here and there. And then you got something like that, I guess. Yeah, not the greatest example. That doesn't really work so well with what I have here, but it can be a cool way to work, to just have those kind of pop up from time to time. The thing I was going to show you, the reason I made this extra clip here, and maybe I'll make like one more, and instead of make those hi-hats, maybe I'll just get rid of those. So now we got kind of like a different vibe. There, it's going with the chord I made. So with our clips here, we can just select all of these, right click, and what's the matter here? But I gotta open it up here. Gotta turn them on maybe. What's the deal here? You can turn a follow action, create follow action chain. I guess it has to be on to do that, which is interesting. But I just got these all open. I can do create follow action chain. And what that will do is play each clip until it's done and then just switch between them. And then when this clip is done, it will jump back up to this clip. I got to turn on the follow action global button here. Now we got those little shakers in there. Now this one plays the hats. No ride. There it goes up. Maybe I want these to play a little longer. I can set it to like 2 times. I'll do that with all of these. So they'll play for 4 bars. So this is another way to just like get a little kind of movement and change in your parts. So really, like, even though it's like not very exciting with this chord, it's never playing the same thing twice. I think I turned this off and never turned it back on. So now my drums are always really changing up. And that's by using the follow actions, which tell the clip to do something after a certain amount of time. And in this case, since I have linked, it means it's going to play for as long as the clip is, for the entire length of the clip, times 2. So that means that the clip will play 2 times in a row. And it'll switch to this clip. It should start playing any second. This one will play twice. Then it'll go back up to this one. Look at this CPU meter here, it's kind of high. We got a new view here where we can see the average CPU or the current, if there's any spikes. I'm getting like a little high up here. We've also got a little viewer down here that tells us what percentage of this total CPU each track is taking up. And by the looks of it, our drum track is taking up the most CPU. We can see on a per track basis which track is causing the most impact on our CPU. This is like a percentage, I guess, would be the way to say it. Meaning like of the 50% CPU I'm running at, this track is taking up like about half of that. This one's a little less than that. These ones are hardly doing anything. But I'm sure if I turn this off, turned off my spectral resonator and my K7D, and we went down a little bit, and we got some CPU back. Back on. And I guess probably what's happening on this track is there's just so many devices on this. This is that vocals instrument that is part of the new live sound library. There's a lot of pretty powerful devices going on here. Decide I want to turn off some of these. That brings down my CPU quite a lot. It goes right back up. And that crazy feedback is coming from K7D. That's because I have the feedback control up so high. That actually lets the sound of the delay go back into the delay, and it will just keep making noise and build and build and build and build. But those are handy just to see, like at a quick glance, like where your computer is being taxed the most. I found that pretty useful in my journeys here. Yeah, there's a lot of cool stuff going on in this update, and a lot of stuff that just makes, I think, the music feel more alive and organic, like real people are playing it. So I'm very excited to utilize that to the full potential.
One more quick question, if you don't mind.
Of course.
On the operator track that you had the randomizer on, if you set the voices to 1, is it only going to play 1 element per hit?
Yeah. If I have this where it's only going to play 1 voice down here, then it can only play 1 note at a time. Regardless.
But will it still randomize it? Because you know how if you set voices to 1 on operator, it'll play like the same note every time. Does it still randomize it for us?
Let's see.
Yeah, it sounds like it. Yep.
It seems like it's favoring that note for whatever reason over this note. We might have like a, I'm not sure why. But yeah, it'll just only play one note in that case.
Cool, good to know. Thanks.
Yeah. Yep. But yeah, did any of you guys download the beta?
Oh, is it still available?
Yep. Yep, it's open to everybody now.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Well, I should get the link for you.
Can you put it in alongside your existing?
Yeah. Yeah, you can. Yeah, that's what everyone wants to know usually. You can have both versions of Live going. Where's my applications? So the way I have it here, like I've got Live 10, Live 11. Whoops, I didn't open that, did I? And then I've got actually I have Live 9 in here. I made a folder. I used to have Live 11 in here, so it wouldn't be visible in case I accidentally showed my applications and give the secret away. But you can have them all, yeah.
How do you manage to avoid cluttering up your library? Because at various points in time, when I've had 8 and 9 and updates, I still I still find myself having to clean out some of the duplicate library. I guess it's just a matter of when you install it, you make sure that you're pointing to a different library.
Well, Live 8 to 9, they changed the library pretty significantly. And I think somewhere anyway, I might not have it anymore. I guess it used to have like your Live 8 library was available somewhere. But now the user library is like stored in a different place since Live 9. So it shouldn't really make too much of a difference when you go from 9 to 10 and 10 to 11. But
Well,
that
the
Live 8
idea,
user library is still lingering on my hard drive somewhere too.
like when you put 11 on, it is just going to wrap around your 10 install as far as places and that. I mean, is it just kind of glide in? So
Yeah, it can use anything from Live 10, Live 9, all the way down. So that's not a problem. The thing though, like I installed like that new pack, the voice one here. So that'll show up in Live 11, but that's not going to work in Live 10. I don't even know if it will show up for sure. I haven't actually checked.
yeah,
But even
that's basically what I was asking is, yeah.
if it does show up in Live 10, when I try to open things, they just won't open. It'll say
Right.
like, it might say like the file is corrupt or it is incompatible or uses a device not available. It might have one of those types of messages.
Yeah.
But it shouldn't really affect you too much anymore. I've found like it was smooth going to 10. I didn't even really think about it, honestly.
Okay.
So I don't think you have to worry about it too much. If I were to go back to Live 10, I don't think there would be a problem. I just might not be able to open this. And I won't even see these other devices. All this organization they did, it just won't even show up. Hybrid reverb, it won't even be there.
Okay.
I've done it many a times, had more than one version on the computer and gone back and forth. Like I said in the beginning, when Live 10 came out, I was back and forth between 9 and 10, mostly using 9 to make packs that people can use if they didn't upgrade yet.
Right.
And I plan on doing the same thing for a little while with 11. Once it gets released, I'll still probably make my packs in 10. You know, especially like the stuff that goes out to the club. It'll probably be a few months before I start making them in 11.
Yeah, they're saying early next year. Any inside information of how?
I no, I thought I heard February somewhere, but that was no like official channel,
Yeah.
you know. Um, and that's pretty much what they did with Live 10. I think it came out in February also, and it was announced in the fall, just like this one was. But I think right now they're you know, it's out in beta, so a lot of people are finding new bugs and stuff. Like maybe I found one with the pitch bend or something with the MPE. I'm not sure what that was about. Um, so I'll send that one in. I don't know if that'll help. You know, that's just, I guess, the way software goes. But now they've got a lot more people testing it. I'm sure a lot more mistakes and or problems and things will start to materialize, and then they can work those out for the release. But it's good stuff. I'm pretty excited about it. It's fun. I'm guessing like you guys have heard of the comping feature, how you can comp now. I thought what might be kind of fun to show you is I'll make a new audio track. Um, I can show you how comping works a little bit, but I'll show you with video because you can actually comp with video, which is really awesome. So let's see. I've got this audio track here, and I'm just going to right click on it, and it will say insert take lane. So what a take is, it's almost like on your track, you can have other versions of your performance. So if you just like loop record something, you can just put another take in. Like, you know, maybe just real quick, I'll show you with audio too. I'll just make a little short loop here. We'll make it a little longer than that. And, well, I don't know. This is 4 bars, right? How about this? I'll get my guitar. Just barely reach it. There we go. We'll do a little guitar in this. See if this works. Wasn't planning on this, but we'll give it a shot. So I can get my guitar going in here. This should be on number 2. There we go. You can hear I've got this lo-fi business going on. I've for like guitar effects, I haven't gone too far really, but I do like Stark by Clevgrind. I think is a nice one. It's very simple, affordable, and I usually like to cut out anything below 80. Maybe give myself just a little compression on this guitar. And I don't know, how about something like a little smoother? Well, let's see. I launch my look at what chords I was playing there. I can figure that out by just looking. D, C. Okay, just this back and forth. Something like that. Okay, so we'll go back and really, I guess what I could be doing this whole time is just recording it. So go in here. I'm gonna rename this to guitar. We'll have 4 bars. That's a bright strat. So I can just play this and record a bunch of takes. Oh, come here. Just try to get this so you can see what's happening. Just every time it goes over, it's recording a new take. So when I go into my guitar, I can right click and show take lanes. And these are all of my guitar takes right here. This is my main track. I'm going to get rid of this. This is what we're hearing, and I can just switch between my takes by clicking on them, hitting enter, or I can use this pencil tool and just select them. And we get to hear the different takes. So, you might hear this take. Not very good at the beginning. So we might say like we like that, and just highlight it and just put it there. But maybe we want to hear the beginning of this one. I think maybe just to make this a little more clear, we can color these. So I'll just give them all different colors. I think I might have missed on that. That is K7D feeding back. I gotta finish this quicker, it's gonna get too loud. Pretty sloppy about it and just get this guitar part going by doing a bunch of takes and then just picking the best parts. We can, I believe we can select all these and then do create crossfades on clip edges, which will just smooth that stuff out a little bit. one new effect we can put on that guitar just for the heck of it. Maybe the chorus ensemble. It's nice. Phaser also got an update too. We can try that. Just a little subtle action there. Again, we're hearing all that like noise from this. Let it be a little smoother. And the doubler kind of makes it sound like two things, two guitars. Feel myself drifting away. Let's just get K7B under control. That device is so cool, but you got to be careful if you're going to play around with the feedback control. But, oh yeah, so I was going to show you a comping video. We'll do that. And then maybe we'll call it a night after that. So not only can you record and get all these take lanes, but you can just insert take lanes. When you right click, it's that's Option Shift T. So we can just do Shift T, make a few take lanes. And I have some video here, all kinds of weird stuff. I can put this here and this here on another take lane. And we could be doing this with samples. We could be doing it with MIDI clips. We could do it with video. Got all this stuff here, and we can have our. Put this, these are just like little weird cartoons I drew. Maybe like every bar we get like a different video happening. And what is this one? So I've made a comp with the videos, which is, I think, like a really cool way to make like music videos and stuff. Just throw a whole bunch of clips in there and then just kind of select what you want. You can be even more sporadic about it. You can change more of that. So there's a lot of fun, creative possibilities going on here.
Can you apply cross uh, transitions basically to those video clips? Crossfade as a transition?
I don't know. I'm going to try right now. Let's see.
It'd be cool if you could randomize within the comps too. Yeah. So that on each loop, it just picked little different snippets of video to play.
No. Doesn't look like it's fading. Yeah, it'd be cool, right, if you could do like random stuff like that. That would be fun. Random clips. But you could put in like anything. It could be like, these are videos. Those could have been all different samples. So you don't have to treat takes and comping like just strictly for recording. You can do it just to try out random samples, maybe like put in a couple different vocals and splice them together that way, make like vocal snippet type things. Could be kind of a cool way to work. I remember when I was using Logic, you know, I still go into Logic occasionally, but not much. But Logic had a nice comping feature. But I don't think you were able to drag in other things. I think it was just whatever you recorded made a take lane. But now you can almost just drag anything in there and switch between all different samples. It could be a drum, it could be a guitar, it could be a synth, and you can just comp between them all on one track.
A lot of new toys.
A lot of new toys, yeah. It's fun stuff, though. I'm still at the point where it's all very inspiring. You know, like even just doing this was a lot of fun to just like kind of see what happens and then just move on and make stuff. I'm finding that it's been a pretty productive experience every time I've used it. And I think it's partly like some of that stuff, like with the drums, like when I have just a 2-bar drum loop going, I get like really bored with it fast. You know, after a couple bars, I'm like, oh, and I wind up going back and like trying to make new sections and parts to the drums. But it's really nice to just give the computer like an idea of what you want it to do. And then say, okay, you can do this snare every time, but this kick only happens once in a while. This snare only happens once in a while. Be reserved about it, and then just let the computer have its fun. Cool stuff, right? Well, we've done about 2 hours here, so I'm eating up a lot of your night here.
My golden retriever is looking at me with those big eyes. She's expecting dinner.
Yes, that's often how I know I have to move on. I actually heard my dog get up and shake. She's probably like, it's about time to go out. But thanks again for coming by, you guys.
Yeah, thanks a lot. I learned a lot, and it was a great live show. The track is wonderful. I hope you do more with it. I look forward to seeing the official music video drop.
Yeah, I guess like this way, it's kind of easy to do a video. Just comp things together.
This was great fun on a Saturday night. I really appreciate you making time for it. So thank you.
Yeah,
thanks very much for hosting.
Of course. We're going to do it again in like a week and a half, I think, on the Monday before Thanksgiving. So I still need to come up with a topic for that. I'm open for suggestions. There were a couple good ones in the chat. Yeah.
I have one final question. I've never worked with video before, but when you save that out, when you save out the whole thing as a file, are you winding up with an MP4 file? What are you getting?
Yeah, so what would happen is we go to export and we want to turn on video.
Okay, I got you.
So the way this would work right now is I should get an audio file and a video file. I could turn this on and get an MP3 too if I wanted. Let's see what I get. Oh, oh. What a fitting way to end, right? Okay, so as you can see, there's still some things that need to be worked out. Don't go to your concert at Madison Square Garden with the beta version. Be careful about it. It has been pretty solid. I haven't tried to export video yet, so I don't know what's up with that. And that other one MPE thing was acting funny, which is strange because I've done that many times now. So things will happen, and they will probably get resolved shortly, as every time they release a new beta, which is like every 2 weeks or so, it seems like. But cool. Yeah, go have fun, and if you don't use the new beta, like, hey, you still got a lot of cool toys, so there's no need to worry.
So I'm assuming that if you have an MPE controller, it will be recording all of those goodies going in.
Yeah. If you've got like a Rolly or an instrument or even Sensel's Morph, whatever it is that you have that does MPE, it'll recognize all of that, and you can use that on Simpler, Sampler, and Wavetable. And then any VST that happens to have MPE, which I'm honestly not even sure what does, because I've never really gone into MPE because Live didn't support it. So my entrance into MPE is really since the last month or two.
Okay, well, thanks a lot. I got to run myself, so thanks again.
Cool. Yeah, thank you so much for coming. Good to have you. And thank you guys too.
All right. Good night, everyone.
All right. Good night.
Hey,
Take
good
care.
Night. Thanks.
Bye.